Maybe.
Oh.
Hey!
Hey!
Welcome to Ramble Radio!
Pow, 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 pow.
Come on! Yes.
Yes, we did it.
449.
449.
Ramble. Look, we've
Dude.
already just eviscerated Carson Daly. What's next?
Yeah.
Who's getting Ramble Radio now?
Who's in our crosshairs now? Huh?
Who's getting
Who?
the Ram? Who's going to be on the business end of Ramble
Right?
Radio business?
Right?
Who? First of
Who's
all,
left?
Who's left? Who? God, it's like Goldberg. Who's next? We've all the sacred cows we've just brought crashing down.
We've killed all your heroes.
Carson
Legend killers? Are we the legend killers?
Legend killers.
Let's just start off by saying a big R.I.P. to the great Psycho Sid Vicious. Psycho Sid Vicious Justice.
Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, the one and only. Just, man.
What was your favorite incarnation of Sid?
Psycho Sid. And who knew that, again, like you said, history would show he's the one we should have been rooting for at Mania 9 or 8 or whatever it was.
I mean, compared to the guys in the ring, he's got Hogan in the ropes. Him and Papa Shango have Hogan in the ropes.
And then the other fucking homophobe Ultimate Warrior comes.
Warrior runs out, and like the one guy that should have taken the multiple chair shots should have been Hogan and or Warrior.
Not Sid.
Who knew Psycho Sid
Psycho Sid, man,
and Papa Shango were probably the best people in that ring.
The finest individuals. Who knew? The heels were actually the ones we should have been. Harvey Whippleman, do we toss him in there too?
I think you throw him in there,
dude.
He was on the right side of history.
He was, wasn't he?
He was on the right. Harvey Whippleman, right side of history.
Jesus, you replay that match; it's completely different. History
I saw
shows...
it on the Twitter because I was scrolling all the Psycho Sid things, and they were showing the end of that match. And it shows him and Shango having to, and then the Warrior music comes out. And what I love is because you could tell Sid knew Warrior was a fucking prick.
Yep. He was like, I really don't want to sell to this guy.
He didn't sell because he was on. Like, this is how it's set up. Hogan's tied up in the ropes, a la Andre the Giant style, right?
Right.
Shango's working him over in the ropes.
Right.
Psycho Sid gets out of the ring to get a chair from the announcer's table.
He ain't taking that clothesline. He's not even that clothesline.
He's getting a chair. The music, the Warriors' music hits. The whole place erupts.
Sid doesn't do anything.
Doesn't even look. Nope. He doesn't even look.
He's like, oh, this motherfucker.
He's like, oh, fuck, I got to deal with this asshole.
He was maybe one of the greatest heels that's ever existed because nothing fazed him. That's what I loved about that character. Except
and it's not because
crushing his cars. That was okay. That fazed him.
That phased him a little bit.
But the thing is, mad. He didn't get scared.
But you knew Psycho Sid. It wasn't because Psycho Sid couldn't act, because we already the Shockmaster proved
in wrestling. In thespian history.
So we know it wasn't because he couldn't sell something. He chose not to sell the Warrior coming out.
Orson Welles falls apart if the Shockmaster falls through that. Orson Welles can't handle it.
If you replace Orson Welles with Psycho Sid, any of the iterations of Sid in Citizen Kane.
Better movie?
Better film.
Better
You have Psycho Sid go, Rosebud. It's fucking over.
It's the best. The best.
They probably stopped making movies after that because they're like, what can we do now?
What else can we do? That's it.
Citizen Sid. If it was Citizen Sid.
Put Psycho Sid. That's the title.
But that just shows you what the way he sold Shockmaster and sold Warrior. Proves to you that he it's not that he couldn't sell something. He chose not to sell Warrior.
He chose not to. He's like, nah, fuck this guy, which is great.
Because he could have given the classic and looking around with the eyes wide open.
Oh no.
Didn't even turn his head. Because he knew Warrior was a piece of shit.
He knew he's a piece.
And he knew Hogan was a piece of shit.
Fucking Sid, the greatest. Look at just it's a bummer. Bummer we lost him.
It's a
Rest
bummer.
in peace. It is a bummer.
Best power bomb in the game.
Best power bomb. Yeah, it's God. He
made the powerbomb famous
because at the end the way he would just like they were nothing, like it were just like
throw you like trash,
just fucking I mean incredible, fucking great, man. And I Psycho Sid passing, obviously extremely sad, but it overshadowed what I was going to talk about, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay, yeah, go for it. We can handle multiple things here. We're a diverse, deep, emotionally deep podcast.
I think we could. We go from deep mourning to now we usually tear things down on Ramble Radio.
Right.
But we obviously have given Psycho Sid his due.
We can build up as well as tear down.
Best to ever do it, and it's
absolutely
so fuck cancer forever.
Fuck
cancer
big time
for fucking ever. And also though, we can also defend more. Can I please go back to defending "We Built This City" by Starship, Eddie?
We could literally every podcast we do from here on out with the Ramble, we could just dedicate to "We Built This City."
Yes. So, all right.
We can never stop talking about it. I'm fine if we talk about it. That's all we ever talk about.
The line in the song where someone's always playing corporation games. Who cares? Yeah. They're always changing corporation names. Tell me when they're wrong. I'm waiting. When is that a false statement? How is
corporations probably got wind of this song and then put out the secret PR campaign to kill it by going, this is the worst 80s song ever made.
Someone's always playing corporation games. Who cares? They're always changing corporation names. Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Rage Against the Machine had the courage to write that lyric ever.
You won't find anything half as ballsy in a Rage song.
No.
I'm sorry. Just because they deliver it in a way that makes you want to finger bang whoever you're around.
That's why you forget.
Doesn't mean it doesn't have a punch to it.
And boy, what a punch. Someone's always playing corporation games. Who cares? They're always changing corporation. I'm sorry, but you're right. I think every major corporation came together to pull the smear campaign on that song.
Yeah, I think it's a huge smear campaign.
That was the one thing they told Rage. Look, you guys we don't care. Sing about whoever you want. You bring up something like this, you're done. And they fucking caved.
They all caved. Everyone caved.
Public Enemy never wrote anything.
NWA caved. Public Enemy caved. Rage Against the Machine caved. They all caved.
None of them could bring.
Starship had the balls to call out.
Someone's always playing corporation games. Who cares? They're always changing corporation names. Oh.
Right, right then. Bolt had a target on him ever since.
Oh, a target on their head. Had to go into hiding after that.
Look, you
think the Boeing whistleblowers?
Oh, dude,
had it rough.
That lyric cost them billions.
Billions.
That lyric right there cost them billions of dollars.
Oh fuck. Speaking of corporation games and corporation names.
Yeah.
Is with a heavy heart that I talk about how disappointing of a movie Alien Romulus was.
Oh. You told me it was the greatest okay movie you've ever seen.
The best so-so movie I've ever seen. And the only reason it's that is because, like, the first act was really good, except for one character who was literally, I thought, was a joke. Because he was like the South Park, the Team America, stay the fuck away from me actor. You know, that like, it was, I was like, why? What? It was such a joke. He was the only
Was he trying to be Bill Paxton's character from Aliens? Was he trying to do that and not successfully doing it?
No, they thankfully didn't do that.
Okay.
But he was just like, oh, okay, he's the asshole. All right, we get it. And it was so bad. Just stay the fuck away from me, actor. Like that was my only issue with the opening of the film.
I haven't seen it. I had a friend who's a comic. I think he's based in Northwest.
Okay.
He posted on Twitter. He's like Alien Romulus in space. No one can hear you go meh.
And that's a great review. It is That's it was.
Is that what it is? No one can hear you meh.
It was like, man, because the first half hour, 25 minutes, with the exception of the stay the fuck away from me actor guy,
Yeah.
I was like, dude.
Well, you were giving me the lowdown of the film, and it sounded like a really good
very
movie.
Interesting. You get to see
like
the shit
a cool
that Wayland
take.
Yutani puts people through. It was awesome. Like the main character, you introduce her. She's like a miner. Her whole parents died in the mines, and she's she's worked enough hours to be able to go off world. And that's what she wants. She was born on this planet where the sun can never shine in because of the cloud and stuff. So she just wants to go see a sunrise. She wants to go. And there's a planet that's there's a system that's not under the Wayland Yutani umbrella. And she's like, well, I've done my hours, my 12,000 whatever hours. I'm out of here. And she tells the Wayland Yutani person, and she's like, no, it's actually 26,000 hours. Like, it's great. So the whole time you're like, oh God, your heart just. And you're like, yeah, you want them to get the fuck out of here. And, of course, their way out is this. They try to get these cryopods they find on a floating space station above their planet, which, of course, has the face huggers on. That's where all the shit starts. But she's got Andy, a robot, a cyborg like Bishop and Ash with her, who's like her older brother. And he's, like, kind of dysfunctioning. So he's, like, slow, and people make fun of him and stuff. And, dude... I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. So there's a scene where some characters all these kids, all these 20-somethings, they make it up to this ship, and they're going to try to get these cryopods and get the fuck out of there. And of course, inadvertently, some of these pods are opened, and a bunch of face huggers are awoken. And they're inside this room. They're trapped in a room with these face huggers, and none of them. It's like. Ripley and Newt. They're fighting them off, but they're like, we got to get the fuck out of here quick, right?
Yeah.
And Andy, the robot, he tries to open the door. Since he's a Wayland Yutani machine, they thought, well, he might have clearance, but this is above his level, right?
Right.
So they find a destroyed android on the ship, and she pulls its little chip out, and she runs, and she sticks it inside, and that... It was the best moment of the movie because the actor, he was amazing. He just freezes up for like a minute, and then he comes to, and then like there's a scene where like a face hugger jumps, and then he just catches it like uncaring, cold, and then like he's like, let's get out. He gets him out of there, but the problem is they gave him the chip of the other fucking robot, so now he's just Mr. Wayland Yutani. Got to do what's best for the corporation. I thought this is... And that actor, he saves the movie. He is so fucking good. The guy who plays Andy in that. He is so fucking good.
Well, that seems like a cool way to take this film. Like, you're not making the aliens or the face huggers sort of like the main... like antagonist of the film. You got this robot, this android, who's now turned evil... And so now these people are trying to fight off the android with the presence of these aliens on board. Like
it would have been, and then it just devolves because the alien that she gets the chip from is a fucking de-aged CGI, been dead for 2 years, Ian Holm, and you're like, oh God, is this? They're doing Ash, and it's like, why? We already see that they're different, and then
you don't need to make the same model,
and it just fucking tanks the movie. Then it just becomes so fucking dumb, and it's just like, God damn it. And like, Eddie, I'm not making this up. There is a line in the movie when the girl, the main character, like Andy has told them, like, look, here, we can get out going this way. And then when Andy leaves, she looks at the space that he once occupied, and she said this. Now, she deserves every award in the book for pulling this off. She literally goes, Andy, are you even still in there? And I was like, what is happening right now? I turned to Andre. I'm like, what? That was a moment where we both just looked like, what the fuck is happening? Right. I thought like what should have happened next is she should have broken into a song like the little chick in Hook. Like it should have become a musical at that moment. Andy, are you still even in there?
Are you still in
Where
there?
Where have you gone? Like it just should have been like,
Andy, are you still in there?
It was that bad. It was that
Alien
stupid.
the musical.
It gets worse and worse and then it just gets worse and worse and worse and then And then if the alien hybrid human thing from Alien Resurrection wasn't enough, they give you a more human alien mix in this, and it's so fucking stupid. It just looks so fucking dumb. I just was joking.
Dumber than the Pralien?
Yes.
When the alien impregnated the alien or the predator?
Absolute. This thing looked like it was gonna pick up a human character and be like, I want to love it and hold it. Look at the rabbits, George. Like, that's how it looked. It was so fucking unscary and stupid. And something that Cody and I talked about too is it chickened the fuck out when it came to like gore, and there's no fun deaths. There's no interesting deaths.
Really?
Like, I was just
for an alien movie?
Yes. The chest burster scene was weak. Everything was like, what the
well,
fuck?
they showed the chest burster scene in the fucking trailer.
It's as tame as you see in the trailer. I thought, I guess there's something they're not showing. Nah.
Right.
That's it. And it was like, well, fuck.
Because I thought it was kind of cool when she puts the light behind it. You can see it coming through and like breaking the ribs. Like, damn.
Then, and it you don't even see it burst out. Really, it was just. It was, and the actor who played Andy in the first 20 minutes are why it's the best, just okay. Had that not existed, it would have just been, this thing is a pile of shit. Right. It is a fucking, it was just retread city. And then so Andy starts becoming good again. They get the chip out. And there's a scene where, and he rescues the main character from an alien. And Eddie, I was just like, oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And sure enough, he kills the alien and then goes, get away from her. Boom, boom, boom. You bitch. And it was like, oh, God. What are they doing?
That's not like a Star Wars line where you say, I got a bad feeling about this, or may the force be with you. That is Ripley's line.
It's Ripley's
That's the only person that says that line.
It's so fucking.
You don't touch that line.
So dumb.
You don't touch that line.
And the more I think about it, the more I might lose the best okay movie ever and just say it fucking sucked. It's just because.
Now, how about at the end if the Winnebago pulls up and Lone Star rescues them?
It's then okay. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere.
And this leads us into Spaceballs 2.
That then way better. If they're like, we're not gonna make it, and then you see the alien and then it just gets blasted, like what? And then there's Lone Star and Barf in the Winnebago.
And just woohoo! And he's just flying in like the Falcon at the end of Star Wars.
Best movie I've ever seen. It erases everything wrong. But yeah, it was. Ooh, man.
That's disappointing.
It was a rough.
I was hearing good things about it when it first came out.
I was too, and I was so excited, and I went in. Like, hey, it's gonna be fun. And then the first 25 minutes, I'm like, they were underselling this thing, right? The first 20, I'm like, oh shit, this thing is fucking incredible. And then it was so fucking bad.
That's disappointing.
It was.
I'm just gonna go watch Aliens, I guess.
That's it. That's all you should do. Watch Alien 3 over this.
Any engineers? No engineers in this?
Engineers.
The guys from Prometheus?
Because the black gooey stuff is in this. And there's a pregnant woman who gets wounded, and she injects herself with the black goo, hoping it'll save her and her baby, and that's how she gives birth to the human alien thing. And it looks like an.
So is it an alien or is it a engineer?
It looks like a little bit of a slender, taller engineer with like some of the little shit on the back of their chest, on their back. Those little things, except they're not fully popped out. It was a very dumb looking, like engineery alien mix, and it was just so fucking stupid. Hey George, I want to
now
look at the rabbit, George.
Was Prometheus a prequel to Alien, or did that come after in the timeline?
Prometheus is the first one.
So Prometheus is the first
where
one.
You see where they were how they started.
Right.
I believe these engineers were trying to create.
I'm trying to remember because I only saw Prometheus once.
Same here, I thought it was so stupid, but it's better. I think it is better than this one.
Because at the end of Prometheus, doesn't a facehugger get on one of the engineers and create?
It's the pilot that they find that the Nostromo finds.
Right.
The giant pilot. Remember,
has one on his. Yeah.
That's
an alien.
But an alien. I believe that was the thing in Prometheus that the face hugger gets on. And then, so it was. I cannot recommend seeing that film in the theaters, or maybe rent it as a curiosity. Not rent it, but whenever it's streaming as a curiosity.
Streaming, put it on.
Maybe it was. Oof. Well,
anyway. So fucking the Alien franchise is taking it. I mean, what do we got? Two great films.
That's it. Alien 3, I enjoy. I get how the flaws in it, but I like how it was just kind of weird and different.
Right.
Same with Alien Resurrection. I'll
okay. So now if we're taking franchises, we're taking Star Trek, Star Wars, and Alien, and Predator.
Star Trek and Predator by far have those year. That's a meteor order. They have the much better averages.
Star Trek. Now. I mean, you got.
Yeah. I mean, Star Trek, I think so. Yeah, because I didn't think the JJ movies were that bad. And they had the bonus of every other one being really good with the original cast.
Yeah.
And then the even numbered ones were really good with the original cast. I think one or two of the Next Generation movies were good. And then
First Contact was good. The other ones were kind of even Generations wasn't great.
Generations was the worst, I thought, of the Next Generation cast.
First Contact was good.
That was
great. That was a great one.
So,
even Undiscovered Country was pretty good.
That was a great one. That was part 6. That was fucking great.
I like that one.
Oh wow,
interesting.
Now I hate to do this, Eddie, because we do have the
contractual obligation.
Nobody wants.
Skeletor. We were talking about some of our film franchises we were watching as a kid. Has you ever been excited about a film franchise and the next installment coming out doesn't live up to your expectations?
Eddie, that's a wonderful question, and I'm glad that you've asked me that. I don't know if there was ever a sequel to this, but there was one movie that, have you ever come and then just kept coming because you couldn't stop coming? Has that ever happened? Where you're just like, my God, I'm just going to come and come and come and I just can't stop coming. I did not expect this movie to make me come as much as it has. And I don't think they've ever made a sequel. And I'm very upset at it. Dunstan Checks In. It's about adorable chimpanzee who runs amok, an orangutan, I believe, who runs amok in a fancy hotel. It was a lot of coming. Dunstan Checks In. Whole lot of coming that I did. A lot of jizz. And I just really wish they'd make a part 2. But if you're wondering, I've actually written a script for a Dunstan Checks In 2. And I've actually built a set. We built an enormous skyscraper to match the hotel he was in Manhattan. And you're wondering, well, where could you keep such a giant building to film this movie in? Go ahead, ask.
Where?
He-Man's mother's pussy! Because it's so gigantic. But yes, Dunstan Checks In. I'm going to come now just thinking about it.
Okay.
Cinesnob.
Let's get him on Rotten Tomatoes, please.
As quick as possible, so maybe this can, I don't know.
This can end. We can end this.
That'd be great. Oh, God. Eddie working all the fine.
5 days a week, patreon.com, The Ralph Report. Tuesdays, Fridays, Ramble Radio. Wednesdays, Ramble Proper. And also on Fridays, Not Today with Jen Sturger.
Here it is. You can find me in the same Ramble locales. You can find Eddie and Cody. I'm also streaming video games most nights of the week. Kick and Twitch at Retro Rocha. Just my name on YouTube. Find us, subscribe to us, all those things. We love you all. Stay safe out there. Don't make a fuck out of us. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.